Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 407th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, November 18th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be the host today for Mr. Mayran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who once again will be presenting today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you ready to begin there?
Yes. Good morning, good day to you. As usual, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers programs of the Keshe Foundation worldwide, we welcome you back to another cycle of knowledge, sharing knowledge and becoming knowledge seekers, irrespective of our culture, religion, faith, and every other things that we might be separated ourselves to be separate from the others. The beauty of it is that when we go to space, we all become man of earth. They do not know China or England or America or Iran. We go out together in understanding and more or less cultivating a new ways of what we call knowledge. The beauty of it is we have to learn as a human race that we are as strange to them as they're strange to us. We have our own ways of doing things. We have our own ways of getting to places, and they have their own. Does not mean that they're more advanced, does not mean they are behind us. It means we are all part of the evolution of the knowledge of the creation. This is part of what we all are in different stages of that knowledge. Some who are being created long before us through taking a different path have passed us to understand the knowledge of the creation. Some who've been ahead of us are still behind us because they have not managed to unravel the realities of the creation. And there are different races of the creator in different dimensions and understanding and knowledge and enlightenment. So we have to learn, one of the best things is how do we come to be and what we have to do in the openness of the universe to respect life in the essence of the creation, in the essence of understanding the totality. There is always a way that we think we do not know, and there is always a way that we think we know. But we think because we have that knowledge, we are inferior or superior to the others around us. This has to be understood by all of us, that once we are entering the universal community with the open eyes of knowing that we are in a new society of the universe, we are no different. We are all in the same package of the process of the creation. And for us, how we communicate, how we go to understand, how we interact will come out of understanding of the totality. Many creations and created things of the creator have not even understood the existence of their souls, have not understood what it means to be part of what the teachings you have had. And at the same time, they've been taught that to be elevated to that position. Does it make you any different? Does it make you to be more enlightened and more arrogant? Or does it make you to be enlightened and be humble? In so many ways, we have to become to understand whatever we are, wherever we appear, whatever we are part of, you're always part of the creation. And we have always to be humble, to be there to learn, and not to be arrogant, to be ahead, to be we know. In the process of the creation, mankind has moved a lot. In the process of creation, mankind has changed a lot. In the process of creation, all creatures of the universe have changed a lot. One of the knowledge seekers, in a different way, sent me a video this week, which is to do with Solomon. And this brought back a lot of memories. This brought back a lot of things that many of you knowledge seekers gradually will come to. And then you understand when we say the knowledge of the man has come to the level of the prophet of the past. That now that you know the existence of your soul, now that you understand the existence of totality, you understand, we understood how Christ brought life back. But when you go back to beyond it, to time of Solomon, he used to talk to birds. He used to understand the animals. He used to understand every creature. And now you can see how much man has degraded from time of Solomon to Christ. It's the knowledge we had, it's the knowledge we were created with. He used his soul to communicate with the birds and the bees, to the animals, to understand them. And as he was what we call messengers of the Creator, in a way he understood the levels of creation. He went out not to harm and not to possess, even though people gathered around him as armies of his. He never called for an army. He had an army of peace with him. But he understood through the soul. And in a way, our teaching is taking us back now further to understand the work of Solomon. How he could communicate with the birds, how he communicated with every entity. And up to now, we always talked about it. In a way, is the knowledge is within us, the knowledge which has always been available to us, but became more and more physical to the level of Christ. That for us was important to see a physical body moving, where thousands of years before him, Solomon could speak to the birds, could understand them through the soul. He never verbally communicated, but through the interaction of his soul, he could understand. He was already a man of universe. He was already the soul of the man. And this is what the teachings of nowadays is about. We understood how Christ resurrected. Now, to understanding more, we try to go further back before man was contaminated with the physicality and possession to the time of Solomon, to understand interaction, to understand communication through the soul of the man, not the dimension of physicality of the man. I'm sure if we would have left the mankind to carry on with what it is in the next few thousand years, mankind will not move. We hold on to everything and become more and more physical and possessive. This is part of our understanding. We are not bringing a new teaching. We are taking man to the origin when he diverted to become more physical, to be more owner of physicality, to be detached. It was part of the life of him. And now we see how we have degraded ourselves to lower and lower. We sit to understand more. How could he do what we, after thousands of years, trying to go back and reach? What was the message? That did he communicate? If he could communicate with the birds and the bees and the animals, how did he communicate with his army? How could he, when he could understand the animals and the rest, could be ignorant of the existence and emotions and the life of his soldiers, the people who came to God to be with him, to be part of his, what we call knowledge seekers of today, to understand more about the creation? What happened to all that knowledge? How much did Solomon pass on to make what are called creatures of the universe out of the man? And they could not understand it at the time. So, in a way, now that you become too close to understand the work of your soul in communication and interaction, Then you come to understand you have moved up backwards in the race of man to the time of Solomon, to interaction, to understanding, to comprehending the emotion of another with not talking, but by the interaction of the souls. So we are not teaching you something new. And as all of you have been entangled with these teachings for past months and years with us, now you understand, in a way, we're taking man back through his own history, timeline reversed. It's not back to the future, it's to understand the time of the past, that it has become the future. The universe hasn't stopped as man has become more physical. The work of the Creator hasn't stopped as the man has taken the greed to possess and own more. And as we see nowadays with our leaders, they want to possess everything. And then you see those who are behind our leaders who want to be the possessor and controlling even the leaders. Why? What is the reason? Why do we see this evolution now in the process of the creation? What do the Rothschilds bend backwards in trying to control humanity? By finance, by every means, but they have not understood that the work of the Creator goes beyond them. The knowledge they might gain somewhere or got somewhere to show they can, they will not be able to, because the path of it is the wrong way. They chose what the gift was given to them to be used in the wrong way. The greed of the physicality took over the knowledge of physicality of the man's achievement. This is the part of the job that many of you will start questioning yourselves. In the time to come and in the time which is here, many of you have faced or facing with a position of, shall I take or shall I not take? And what would it do to me and what I have to do? In a way, when you accept these new, what I call cycle of control, you are faced with one thing. You ever been on a death row by injection? That's the position of man. In a way, the new cycle is putting you on the table with yourself. Do I accept the injection and take the consequences of death, sitting on what I call a death row? This is what you have to understand, how fast you can move from the dimension of physicality and dimension of the soul, that no physical injection can harm the man. How fast you can see and read the understanding of the thoughts of the others, that you can be safe in respect to your own life. Many knowledge seekers asked me in the past few months, what shall we do? In a way, I cannot tell you what to do as you're sitting on a death row. This is the total reality of it. It all depends when the saturation gets to the point, when your body cannot respond. And then, in that point, like many of you who've been through the motion and emotion of the cancer, you judge your life. What have I achieved? What have I done? What is my, what I call legacy? Nowadays, and what we see is about to come, enforcing these, what I call body structure changes, will make you think. But we have to understand what is behind it. This is why we said we took the love of God from Rothschild. Every one of them will die in the most painful way the man can do. They'll become a name in the history in a very short time, as they took the wrong path. as they went the wrong way. Was not supposed to be the knowledge, and whatever was given was supposed to be for the benefit of mankind. Don't forget, when we took the love of God from the tribe of Moses, because of what they did to Christ, they became nomads. They lost their home, and they spread around the world, and everywhere they became the curse of humanity. Maybe now you understand what it's about, what is to come. In a way, with this position at the time, in the time of man, we make you think. We make you to understand, do I want to be, and what will be of me? Do I want to move in the dimension of the soul, or do I stay in the dimension of physicality? How many of you will elevate to that position the coming time? How many of you will come to understand the strength of your soul you'll come to see? We create with the love of man. We create with the creation of the love of man. And in so many ways, the love of man has become part of his own demise for loving so much with tangibility and physicality of the man. Maybe today I open a door for you to see what is to come. Not for humanity, but for yourself. How you assess the life to be. How you assess, I want to be. I take the job, but would I sit and wait? Nothing happens, or it'll be my demise. As I said to one of the politicians and diplomats very recently, we are all on the execution table of injection, the way it used to be done on the death row in America. With the difference that the leaders have exempt themselves from to be part of it. All the rules and regulations you see done for you to safeguard you is not applicable to the world leaders. We have come to understand in past few days that the governors and the governments and the leaders are exempt from injection. Why? This is part of the structure of life. And if it is so, how could they survive without it, where the others have to have it? This brings you to understanding in a deeper way that we will face the same dilemma in the depth of a space. We will have this on our table in a coming time. We will have to make these decisions in the depth of space. Shall I go out? And the packages of the energies are above my strength of my soul, or the strength of my physicality, or the strength of my soul of physicality. How would I handle it? How do I deal with it? Am I taking that a step? In understanding this, it makes you conscious to understand your soul. The way I look at it is that the position that more or less all of us on this planet are facing today is the time to bring collectively humanity to a new level of understanding. To bring man collectively to decide and to assess what is the future of our race. What is and how we're going to do. To what extent? What will be the outcome of all this mayhem we see? Or are we going through a cycle that we are embedded with the dimension of the knowledge that they will decide when to switch on and how to switch off? We have one way to think, and that way is for all of us as a human race to start to understand the dimension of the soul, the interaction of the soul, how we achieve that level, and how to interact and trigger the phase of understanding of the motion of the souls of the man. Don't forget, in the teachings of the past, we have talked about this very clearly, where you take the soul of physicality within the soul of the man, and when the danger is over, you can release it back to become part of the new situation and the place. What happens if you're about to fall off a cliff, and then you change your dimension of the soul, and that light then will land on the same cliff? Then what happened? You reverse the time, and would you be any different than the body which was free falling off the cliff? In a way, when you jumped, you had brown eyes and black hair. And when you come back, would you still be the same, or would it be the wishes that you wanted always to have blue eyes and be blonde? Which one will take over? Which dimension will appear in front of you? Would your loved ones which fall watch you to go down, seeing you going down as a black hair and blue but brown eyes, appear with a blonde hair and blue eyes, but you still speak the memories of what you had? Would they recognize you? Would they accept you? And then it'll come to the point to understand mankind is at the verge of understanding the totality of the creation. Mankind is at the verge to understand about his own creation. And this is part of the teaching. This is part of trying to understand part of it. Go back and listen to the American teaching of last week with Alex. Unknowingly, he has touched very soft, but to something fundamental, which we've been trying to teach you, but you do not hear. Go back and understand what you have missed in past teachings that you have not managed up to now to achieve to interact with your soul. Go back to the teachings of the past 2 years and understand more in what you have missed to understand the totality of the knowledge. Sentimentality does not pay nowadays. You have to be realistic. You have to understand in totality, if I can do, if I can convert, if I can go within my soul to become the dimension, can I teach it to my child? Can I teach it to my lover? Can I teach it to my father and brother? But the brother is the totality of human race. In a way, we are going back. We are teaching you to go back to the time of Solomon. Don't talk, listen and understand. It's not your job to change the others. You're there available if they need to take that change. As I said, execution by lethal injection has been the tradition which we have seen in the United States and even in some of the states today. I believe is still carried out. Have we all become the criminals? Or our crime has been that we have not understood the essence of the creation of our soul, and this is the payback time, where we had to mature and we missed it, where we had to understand that no injection can touch us, where we can convert from the soul of physicality into the soul of the man and appear again. Then whatever rumors is this does this and does that, and it kills this way and that kills that way, that's how the guy dies on the injection table by the execution in a prison. We don't need to analyze it, because even the man there, if he understands and elevates his soul, the injection of the poisons given to him to execute him by enlightening his soul would have no effect on him, because he's enlightened, because he has understood the ways of his misconduct, and he'll walk off that table as a new man. Would this be the response of the humanity after the mayhem we are going through? Would it be the time that man will elevate himself to understand? Would it be that we needed this to create a new cycle of people who understand the totality of the creation? When you